Fans, we are back live on the Cheap Heat Productions podcast empire with the new show of the week that you have to see, because it's not only the news that we find interesting, it's the news that comes from the perspective of the big bad wolf himself, Mr. Ryder. And this is Ryder's Rasslin Review. I'm Jack Kilby, no gimmicks guy on the socials. Morris will be joining us shortly. But we've got a lot of content to get through and a little bit of a time crunch. So we'll get right into it. The first and biggest story, I know, Mr. Ryder, that you were watching.
Oh, you froze on me. You froze on me. Here we go. Technical difficulties. Now I can't hear a word you're saying. It never ends, dude. All right. Well, anyway, everyone, the first story of the day is me.
Okay, hear me now.
Here he is. He's back.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. There you go.
Excellent. I was just about to introduce the big time first story that I know you were probably dancing in the streets and celebrating over, and that would be the fact that this man, Here Comes the Zane, is now the United States heavyweight champion of the world, headed towards that world title that's inevitable. And I guess it's interesting to note that you've once again prognosticated that Sammy is definitely probably going to be wearing that world title in WrestleMania. There's a t-shirt that's coming out with Triple H's image on it. First of all, before we get into the perspective of Vince Russo, what do you make of this, the latest in a stunning victory by Here Comes the Zane?
I'm not stunned by the victory after the disaster that was the beatdown in California, and then Rikishi coming out and bad-mouthing the entire world. I had a feeling his son was getting stripped of the title immediately after that. And I'm not surprised they put it on Zayn, because Triple H loves him. He's actually a good worker. The kid can work. He just looks like shit. He just doesn't. They're going to put the belt on him. There's nothing we can do about it. It's unstoppable this time. I just can't see who's going to put him over. It's not going to be Seth Rollins.
Well, I don't know if it's unstoppable, because we'll talk about that a little bit. But Vince Russo, said that there's a real self-serving motive behind his push, and that's from Triple H, of course. And it's a strategy to make himself appear superior to the talents that he promotes. And he said it's a subtle power play. He said, you think Triple H is an idiot when he is immediately on social media pointing at Sammy Dwarf with a heart condition and 10 years retired, and Triple H still towers over him? What's the message there? What's the message? This is the United States champion. Look at how bigger I am than him. That's part of the problem. So I found that to be an interesting take, but do you think that would be enough to justify pushing him to this degree?
I don't think so. Listen, I know Triple H is an egomaniac, and I know that he never liked anyone having bigger arms than him. Like these were all true statements, but I think that time has passed. He loves little tiny guys, though. Russo's not wrong. The DED do-it-yourself, those two, they're midgets. This guy's a midget. Kevin Owens isn't exactly in great shape. He just looks. Drew McIntyre, you got him standing there. He gets the belt for 30 seconds. They take it off him. So I would have to say he's got a valid point. He's always
unfortunately for Here Comes the Zane, this was the lowest rated, and we're going to talk more about the ratings, the lowest rated SmackDown, aside from some Fox Sports 1 episodes that didn't nearly have the distribution that the current network does. So the other story is interesting too, that may put a wrench in their plans or may not, because although they like to say they listen to the fans, they certainly didn't listen over Killer Cross. But did you hear what Mark Henry said? And I've got to read this quote, because I don't know what's going on with Mark Henry lately, but he was actually booed when John Cena, when he came out to have a little interaction with John Cena, he was booed. It was apparently, now I didn't see this or view this afterwards, but apparently it was very notable and discernible that he was booing and getting booed. And this is what Mark Henry said. He didn't expect the crowd's reaction. He said, I didn't expect Sammy to come down to the ring. And not only did Sammy come down to the ring, he got booed, Henry said. They were like, wait a minute. You're stepping on John Cena. You're stepping on our guy. But he turned on them. He turned the crowd in a Sammy type of way too. Sami Zayn is one of those guys that with a microphone, he's masterful. I always say, if you go back, listen to this. If you go back to COVID, you go back to 2020, Sami Zayn saved wrestling. And he did it again tonight.
That's a little extreme.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn saved wrestling?
Yes.
Wasn't he in the Bloodline sidekick for a while? I mean, he was funny. I don't think he saved wrestling, though.
Yeah,
I wasn't packing arenas.
No, I mean, and he's never exactly been a main eventer, but there appears to be a little bit of crowd pushback to this. But I think you may be right. Soon this will be inevitable. He'll hold every strap that there is to hold, and I guess their thought process is that he's a reliable guy. He's a corporate guy, much like Cody Rhodes. But I think if they put that secondary world title on him, he'll be one of the lesser drawing world champions ever.
He will be the lowest drawing of all time. But maybe overseas, if you go to Syria, they might like him. I can't see anybody else liking him. Maybe Saudi Arabia, they like him. But didn't he refuse to wrestle in Saudi Arabia at one point?
Yes, one of the other tours, but then he was there, as you know, this year. He I guess he has his political beliefs, and unfortunately, instead of separating those from the business, he shares them a lot. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on all that is to come from Here Comes the Zayn. The only part about that segment that I enjoyed on SmackDown was when Brock Lesnar completely cleaned his clock. That was good stuff. Enjoyed that part.
How are Lesnar and Cena going to have a 50-50 match now that Cena had a 50-50 match with Sami Zayn?
Good question.
Lesnar should just come out and kill him. Well, it's just a 3-minute squash and move on. It won't hurt Cena. It only helps Lesnar. Because Lesnar's not laying down for Sami Zayn. I guarantee that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe that will cause some friction down the line, because obviously they're going to be programmed sometime to do something. If he beats, that should be a Ricochet-esque squash when he wrestled Lesnar. There should be no offense whatsoever. But yeah, that'll be interesting when it comes time to have those two to have a match. Who knows? You know, he could very well refuse to do that and walk out. I wouldn't blame him.
Just laugh at him. I don't even think they would ask him. They wouldn't even ask him to sell for him.
Hopefully not.
How could they with a straight face? Hunter wouldn't sell for him.
Yeah, but that's his guy. Who knows? Steven is asking about this is, yep, I saw this too. Big story, so to speak. But AJ Lee's return to WWE, I'm like, meh. But what do you make of it, Mr. Ryder? Do you think this is going to be a business changing forever deal, or what do you make of it?
I have nothing personal against AJ Lee. I've never even met her, actually. I've heard nothing but nice things about her. Punk's a friend of mine, so I would never say a bad word of his wife. I didn't like her promo where she's talking about getting mental health, and I don't know what the hell she was talking about. Her whole character's a crazy person. Now all of a sudden she's talking about her mental health and going to the psychiatrist and getting therapy. I didn't understand who she was trying to connect with. The promo made no sense. And then I think they made Seth Rollins look very weak and Becky look weak when she was jumping back and forth in front of Seth to keep him from the belt. I didn't like the way they did that. It should have been rethought. It made Seth look very, very weak.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Did she not step away from the business because she was exceedingly beat up? She's just a tiny little thing. I'm wondering how long this run will be, because she's not that she's old. I don't even think she's 40, but not a lot of meat on the bone there. I'm wondering if those injuries that were apparently, wasn't it a neck related deal the first time that drew her away from the business?
I think it was a neck, right? It's always a damn neck. You know, she signed a multi-year deal. I'm sure it's a guaranteed deal too, because of Punk. I would imagine she's not going to wrestle much. If she does, it'll be gimmicky matches. Her and Becky will have a decent match. I guess Becky will protect her if she's got a bad neck. But Becky's banged up too. And Becky's a workhorse. She's probably in agony too.
Yeah, it's a very concerning situation in terms of, involving a neck. You don't want to mess with that. But speaking of Becky Lynch, Mr. Morris Shortle is here.
No neck.
Man, yeah, my neck is gone. I think I need to figure this out. What has happened to my neck? Live from Corrupt Central. Here we are.
Has Conor McGregor gotten your vote yet, Maurice? That's all I care about.
I tell you, I'll explain the situation with Conor McGregor, because people in America are being misguided to what's happening here, to a degree. So Conor McGregor's only route to getting elected as president of Ireland now falls to people like myself and people in the 31 different, let's call them states for American purposes, but they're local authorities. So in order for Conor McGregor to be on the ballot, he needs to get 4 out of 31 majority councils to vote him in. However, what is happening at the moment is that anyone that's not in the political machine is being blacked out by them scheduling. All these meetings are in person. And for example, next Monday, there's 7 meetings on at the same time. So you can't be in 7 places at once. You got to get 4 of these things. So they're making it literally impossible for people to go there. But Conor McGregor's name is down for my council, but he has never contacted me or anybody else. So I don't know if he has the intention of following through the process and appearing at these things. It could be a publicity stunt, but in terms of Conor McGregor saying to the worldwide audience he's been blocked, it's actually not true. He just hasn't followed. It's a corrupt system, but he hasn't tried to follow it in order to get elected, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I think a lot of it is publicity, but at the same time, I think he knows if he came in that he wouldn't get the support, because these political parties have the overwhelming majority. I'm just moving some toys here. The overwhelming majority in Ireland. Now, I have promised a friend of mine that I would nominate him, so Conor can't actually get my vote anywhere, because I've already made a promise to somebody else. But that's where we're at with that. We'll know more in the next couple of weeks. The meeting started yesterday, Monday, and he didn't attend the first one. There was only one yesterday. He didn't attend it. And then he put out on X this morning that he needs to fly to America to deal with some things. So he's obviously going to be missing all of this week's meetings as well, which isn't good for somebody who wants to get elected.
All right. Well, thank you for the education.
Yeah.
What do you think?
But it translates differently. It translates differently in America, though, to what you're being told, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Morris, are you saying this is just an attempt to, like a publicity stunt? That's it. Like, what is he? What business is he trying to push over the top by doing this. I think he's pretty well off, is he not?
Yeah, I guess it'll get him some extra credit over in the States. He wanted to, I know, fight at that UFC at the White House as Irish president. That's probably not going to happen. But that'll still be a big event nonetheless, if indeed he does keep himself focused in leading to that. So I think it is a publicity thing because he hasn't channeled the avenues needed. And they're terrible avenues anyway for any candidate that's not in the machine. But I put out a statement on that today, and it's gathering some interesting traction online. So yet again, I'm here, I'm disrupting things, and that's kind of what I got involved in politics to do, rather than go with the flow of the corrupt elite.
Well, and that's certainly a positive thing. I wanted to jump into the next story early on because I think it's an interesting one as well. We were just talking about how Sami Zayn is on a definite push to every strap in the company,
Nice.
and how obscene that is from my opinion. But what about the Rock? He's lost some weight. Eh? Have you seen this photo?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's for a role. Is it that's in some kind of role he's got coming up?
Well, he said that he was. This is at the Toronto Film Festival here, and he was saying he lost 30 pounds. It looks a lot more than that, but he said he was looking for a role in something called. He's playing a chicken man, which is an older, very slight individual in a movie that's about to happen, along with being pegged for a Martin Scorsese role. But a lot of fans are, in addition to obviously, he's off the Florida Water B12. In 3 months, it looks like he's dropped. His last appearance was at what? Maybe more at Elimination Chamber. No, it wasn't. Was it Elimination Chamber? I think the one in February.
Yeah, he wasn't that WrestleMania. Yeah,
and he was gassed to the gills. Then he looks like he's lost an awful lot of weight. But a lot of fans are saying, does this mean he's done in the ring? Are we ever going to see Rock versus Roman? What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I think now we know why he was at Elimination Chamber and not WrestleMania, because obviously he had a time schedule to lose this weight and do whatever he needed to do, I'm guessing.
I would say more. You're not going to see Rock Roman.
No, I don't.
That ship has sailed.
There was a lot of well, not a lot of information, but some bodybuilding sites were talking about an interview he did with a doctor where he was indicating that he was having plaque buildup in his arteries, and people were saying you got to get off the juice or whatever. At his age, if he ever was to return to the ring to try and put that size on again, I think it's almost an impossible task. But obviously he's healthier. I just think it adds further credence to people that point out that know that there's no way that he was a natural. Not that it matters because it's wrestling, but if you're on the sauce, then come clean about it. And he always denied it. I found that
he can't admit that these days. Anyone? No way.
You're on TRT.
Yeah. TRT Trembolone.
Anyways, TRT with growth trend, Sip-N-8,
everything else. I mean, good for him. Good for him, because at that age, carrying him around that amount of weight, and especially enhanced like that, is not a good thing. But yeah, perhaps
he can come back and have a street fight wearing a tracksuit with Kevin Owens in about 5 or 6 years. That'll work.
Everybody can pick on the guy, but I guarantee he's still 250, 240. So
I think
he's got to be 240.
He was what, 270? Was he?
He said he was. He's probably 260 in that picture there. You don't have to lose that much weight to look that small. I mean, listen, if you stop eating right for 3 weeks, everybody will tell you, ask you if you have cancer, for God's sake. They do it to me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You lose that pump all day long, that people think there's something wrong with you. The guy's probably eating 6,000 calories a day. Now he's probably under 3,000. They all think he has a disease.
I'm still good anyway.
Calories. Look at that cannon.
I'm still good.
You're jacked. You're not on the Florida B12.
The Irish.
The whiskey.
Anyway, that I guess that Rock versus Roman Reigns match will be like Flair versus Hogan at WrestleMania. Never happened. Next story has been out for a week, but it kind of is multifaceted, and that's the Rhea Ripley deal after the event in Paris, where she sent a message onto social media about "Don't swarm me like a pack of zombies." I think you guys saw. I sent on the group chat the video of her taking an Uber of all things, and a bunch of fans really got pretty close, and they're trying to get their selfie in with her, as Ben Hameen calls them, Team Never Touch a Titty, really taking liberties there with getting close. But there's a couple of issues here. Her response, and some people have said, you know what, you wanted to be a superstar, blah, 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 comes with the territory. And then where the hell was the security? And why were they taking Ubers? And if they were taking Ubers, why were they doing it immediately after the event? What did you guys, first of all, think about the Team Never Touch a Titty guys that were swarming in on her there? Kind of like the ones that go to the meet and greets and do the prom pose.
Okay, so France decided to let every asshole in the world in that have no manners. I think Maurice can relate to this. So when you let a bunch of people in that have no manners and don't give a shit, they will not have any couth, and they will surround a woman and smash her against the car. Rhea Ripley apparently didn't realize this. I don't know if Rhea Ripley's politics are that everyone is normal. Maybe she just is a very trusting person and did something very stupid. But women shouldn't be walking around in Paris alone at all. So don't be surprised when a bunch of assholes decide to smash you against the car. She's lucky that's all they did.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, though, at the same time. I think that the meet and greets that they're charging $500 for, go and pay your money to them things and meet someone for 10 seconds if that floats your boat. But leave people alone on the streets, for God's sake.
I didn't say I agree with it. I'm just telling you what happened.
I think the bigger question is, I mean, these people are superstars. Where is the security? WWE, especially overseas and in a place very well taking points from Mr. Ryder, there should be security surrounding them all the time, especially if they have to take an Uber. I was appalled by that aspect of it. Should not be walking out on the street by themselves. These
people are ultra famous in Europe because they don't be here as regularly as they do in the States, but like they're absolute megastars, not only in Ireland but across Europe. Yeah, 100% agree.
I am surprised she was walking around alone. I really am. I wish she were out for breakfast or something. Just thought nothing of it, maybe. And
it was after the event.
Like Liv Morgan and them can probably put their hair in a bun with a thing you wouldn't really, but she's pretty easy to spot. She's six foot tall, isn't she? Rhea Ripley, or close to it.
Yeah, I think she could handle herself.
You recognize her. I feel for her that it happened to her, but she should be more aware of her surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't happen.
But you can't expect them. You can't expect WWE to be paying for Ubers. Like they're not in the financial position to do that with the ticket prices they charge.
You're saying Uber's getting expensive. That's what's going on.
Good point, Morris. Good point.
The budgets are tight. The budgets are tight.
I couldn't even get a ticket to WrestleMania last year. The hell?
Unbelievable. That blows my mind that they didn't have transportation for them. But did you see about TV for a product that we hear that is so hot? Speaking of ticket prices, the ratings are down. across the board. We talked about a SmackDown when the Beater of Worlds won the U.S. title. Was the lowest rated SmackDown in history, but apparently all of the WWE's programs are down significantly. AEW, I want to say A&E, but it's AEW, down very, very sharply. And Meltzer explained it by saying, with the return of football and cord cutting being the main reasons for the decline in viewership. He says that every time. Would you not think, Mr. Ryder, if a product was as hot as they say it is, and I'm not talking about independent wrestling because it certainly is hot, at least in the U.S. and the Emerald Isle, but if a product isn't good, are they not going to watch it anyway? Was that the excuse during the Attitude Era when they were doing, mega rating? Oh, well, college football's back and cord cutting. What is this, 2010? Everybody is cord cutting.
What's cord cutting?
Cable.
All right, okay.
Well, they all keep saying that not as many people are watching television, and that may be true. What were the ratings on? Do we have the actual ratings? How bad were the ratings Friday night?
I did, but unfortunately, numbers make me go cross-eyed. But it was a significant. He said they were down all sharply.
You did a bad product. I mean, John Cena is the only thing worth watching. Who else on that show is worth watching?
How did they judge? How did they judge the ratings now? Anyway, is it by live with the Netflix thing thrown into it? What way does it work?
I'm not sure how they do Netflix. I mean, I SmackDown's still giving the Nielsen ratings because that's still on regular TV.
Apparently, it's views by hour on Netflix. I mean, it's an area of some debate where they're some of the critics are pointing out that know a lot more than I do about this, that they're inflated on Netflix and they go by some interesting scheme that is open to interpretation. But I think what Meltzer is indicating there, it kind of flies in the face of the messaging around at least the WWE that it's the hottest product ever, when we all know why that is, because of the $14,000 tickets.
Normally, I don't know if your guys' Netflix works the same, but since it's moved over here, we'll say you have the 10 biggest or 10 most watched shows in Ireland today, and that will go on for a few days. And every time there's been a Raw or a SmackDown, it'll be in the top 3 in Ireland. But I don't know what that translates to in terms of how many people have viewed it.
Mm-hmm.
So all I've determined now is that Sami Zayn winning the United States title and AJ Lee coming back didn't draw people to watch it.
Evidently.
I'm shocked.
Evidently.
I'm floored.
Evidently. However, they're also countering with the fact that they're signing these huge deals like the ESPN deal, and they don't seem to be suffering in that respect. So they sit back on their laurels. That's another Vince Russo theory. We'll have to see. I personally don't think WWE or AEW are providing a compelling product right now, and I think that's going to continue to show in the ratings.
They're not producing any big talent. I mean, I think Obafemi is going to be coming up soon. He'll be over for a little while, but he'll fall off. The whole developmental territory out of their 2-year career college in Florida is killing off their business. They're all exactly the same.
Yeah, we had a WWE.
Exactly the same. There's no difference on any of them.
Yeah. I seen in Fight Factory Pro Wrestling here in Ireland, there was a 2-day seminar just gone by with some WWE scout that goes around the world. So they're floating around here anyway, even the last 2 days. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can bring some interesting people over.
Yeah, but they'll send them to the career college and ruin them.
Mm-hmm. Quite possibly.
Do it this way. No, it's not how I do it.
Yeah, I was at a show.
Say you're hard to work with if you won't do it their way. Doug Basham went down there. Doug Basham went to the 2-year career college as a guest coach, and Shawn Michaels pulled him aside and told him these kids go 1,000 miles an hour. They're uncoachable. They're hard to train, and this is just what they do now. There's no psychology. It's all out the window. Now, maybe they weren't the exact words, but that's the gist I got.
TNA seem to have a pretty loose whip on the talent though now. I was at NLW on Sunday and Myla Grace was there. She's from Belfast. She signed with TNA maybe 6-9 months ago, and she could still come back here and do independent shows, which is nice as well.
Yeah, that's something that you hear a lot. There's some good schools out there now that are not WWE affiliated, but as Mr. Ryder said, soon as they sign there, they get to do it the WWE way, and that's it. And that clearly isn't providing an interesting diversity in style in any respect.
Well, they don't know how to work. They're all taught how to do a TV match. They don't know how to work.
Which dovetails nicely into this story. And I wanted to ask you, Mr. Ryder, but Ric Flair said recently that he and Randy Savage had horrible, terrible chemistry. He was on a podcast and he said, no, we had terrible chemistry. He wanted to rehearse and I didn't rehearse. I only did it for WrestleMania. Instead of having a week off, I had to come to Tampa and wrestle 3 hours a day with him to memorize a match. Just wasn't my style. He also said that he wasn't promised the WrestleMania match with Hogan that we're talking about. It was alluded to, but never happened. This is a problem, if you want to call it that. Nobody calls it in the ring anymore. Even to my understanding, some of the independents, they rehearse to death. Is that not what, as you said, Mr. Ryder, taught talents how to work, period?
Yeah, you have to teach them how to work. They're not being taught how to work. Now, we would call matches to death too, but like sometimes a match just sucks. You got to start over and pull an audible. you might think it's great, but it's up to the audience to tell you that. And if you ever watched anybody really bomb in WWE, they just stick to their crappy match and it doesn't go over very well.
I love it.
OVW taught you how to work. Jim Cornette and them taught you how to work. They didn't mess around. You went down there, you learned how to work. I mean, Cena knows how to work. Lesnar knows how to work. Orton knows how to work. The Bashams know how to work. I was fortunate to get down there with those guys and learn from those guys. So they don't have that anymore. Because now these kids all think they're God's gift when they come walking in.
It's not like that over here at all. I found from the shows that I've been around in a couple of different companies is they'll have a bones of, right, who's facing who. And then the guys the promoter will say, right, who's going over. And then they'll say to the guys, you figure out the match. And in the meantime, if anyone shows up to help on the day in the arena or whatever, they could get added to the show. And it's a loose system, but it works. It's not rigid like what you see on WWE. Mm-hmm. Is that normal in the wrestling business, lads? Because you would know.
Well, in the indie shows, you'll come here and they'll have the board on the wall, who's working who and who's going over. And then, of course, we'll have the guys sitting there with their suitcase hoping they'll get on the show. And sometimes they do. But when they don't, you'll see them walking out, reload their bag and their family in tow. It's kind of sad. It's a shame.
The shows that I promoted and booked, I had the rundown. I had who was working with who's going over, and time. And the rest of it, I figured out. That's it.
Yeah. I think people appreciate that as well, giving them that trust.
Well, yeah, you treat them like professionals. You may say, okay, we're setting this up, make it a schmoz, but in the schmoz, make sure that somebody hits suit, blah, blah, blah. But to go down to that level of control that WWE does is a whole another level. And for such short matches on TV, it's astounding.
And camera angles on top of that as well.
Mm-hmm. You have to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Morris, have you been following what Kevin Nash has been saying about Becky Lynch? Do you understand? Seems to be riding her pretty hard lately. He said at one point that her career was over, but then he talked about the interaction that she had with Punk and said it came across like domestic violence. And he said that originally she got over because of when Big Nia Jax busted her open, creating this defiant, bloodied underdog, blah, blah, blah. That persona made her a star, but the heel turn really isn't working. He's saying since becoming a mom, She lost some of her edge and her hunger, which is normal, but doesn't work when it's forced on fans. And he said basically that that segment with Punk was sending the wrong message, and if you push something down people's throats, they'll spit it back up. What do you think of her current run as a heel? Has it worked? Has it not? Is Nash being? I don't understand why he's focused on her, but he apparently has her right in his sights.
This was just a way of her getting or making sense of AJ Lee coming back to WWE. Domestic violence. My God, the world has gone soft. Scott Hall will be rolling over in his grave if he heard that. God love him.
Do you think it's worked though, her latest run, or no?
I guess it has to work if they're putting her on TV with Seth, who's a heel, unless they separated them, put them onto different brands, which they're not going to do. I guess they had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her Ozzy Osbourne line went down very well, didn't it?
No, not at all. Maybe that's what got Kevin Nash's attention. What do you think of heel Becky Lynch, Mr. Ryder? As I know you're a keen observer of the women's divisions.
I don't mind heel Becky Lynch. I just anytime a woman is smacking, Steve Austin was stunning women left and right.
RKOs as well.
All right, so all this, I won't hit a woman. Was it Punk? Didn't he hit Beth Phoenix with a GTS in the Royal Rumble?
Twice.
Right. So
yeah,
that's about enough of that. I think Seth should stomp AJ Lee next week.
What about 3-minute warning?
One's gone.
Rosie
with the lesbians
and Umaga.
They're gone. Yeah, they're both gone. That's sad. What a buzzkill there, Morris.
Hey, do you not remember Mr. Ryder when they attacked the lesbians that time?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember
what?
That.
Eric Bischoff's hot lesbian action interrupted by Rosie and Jamal, who absolutely.
I don't remember.
Oh my God! I'm going to send it into the group chat now.
Where was?
Where were you?
I may have been there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was probably recovering from a beatdown by Albert or Giant Silver.
Oh, they absolutely smashed them. Yeah.
Where's the picture of Giant Silver I sent you guys from the other day? I bumped into him.
Let me see if I have that.
Let everybody know Giant Silver's alive and well.
Thank you. Well, he's alive.
Kurgan?
No, Giant Silver.
Oh, Giant Silver.
Giant Silver, not Kurgan.
The one that Mr. Ryder carried in a match. We'll put that up in a second. But did you see AJ Styles' son?
He looks just like him.
Sorry?
No. He looks just like him.
Yeah. He called out Triple H for disrespecting his father. Somebody online, a fan, said that the way Styles is being treated is pissing him off. And his son jumped in and said, "You ain't the only one, man." So I guess that's in reference to the program with Dominic Mysterio and how Dominic's retaining the title. Do you think AJ is going to be punished for this? This was also hot on the heels of another story that he was looking at options outside of WWE before re-signing.
I think Dominic must have kicked AJ in the head. AJ's just mad about it. He must have stiffed him. AJ's crying as usual. AJ's retiring. He's not doing anything. Knowing AJ the way I do, I think it's all work. He doesn't care if he wins or loses. He's a 2-time WWE champion. He's got 87 titles around the world. He's worth, I don't know how many millions of dollars he's worth at this point, but I don't think he really cares anymore. If he does anything, he'll probably go out to TNA for a short run and he'll call it a career.
What do you think, though, about the trend of talents being punished for, even heat by association like this? If somebody speaks out on social media or whatever, they're in the doghouse. AJ, there's not much. He's going out, like you say, but that seems to be a trend where they get punished for that sort of stuff.
Well, they stole my Evil Knievel gimmick and got mad at me because I got mad about it. So, because they're nuts. The It's very, very childish backstage sometimes. Petty.
Mhm.
Petty would be the word.
Mhm.
So you're
I
allowed
think
to have your own opinion. At the same time, you gotta make the company look good. But at a certain point, you get fed up, and that's enough of that, right? Maybe AJ's fed up, but they're not gonna. AJ didn't get a microphone to get heat from the back. They knew what he was gonna say.
How long has AJ been in WWE now? 10 years, maybe over that? And he went into the game pretty late. He should be probably more thankful if indeed this isn't the work of the paychecks he's been receiving and the exposure the last 10 years after all his hard graft.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think he's got much to lose anyway. Now, this is a funny one given the fact that we've had Ahmed Johnson on a couple of times, a polarizing figure, but
Still need to get him back.
we definitely need to get him back, especially after this. A really nice guy that we've dealt with. But your good friend, Mr. Ryder, the Godfather, on his podcast said that he described Ahmed as someone who didn't get it during his time in the company, but seems to have humbled himself in recent years. He then retold the story of, get this, a tense backstage situation where he was asked to mediate in a meeting between Johnson and Jim Ross due to a rumor that Johnson was going to harm JR. He revealed that it was the late WWE Hall of Famer. He's not late. Jerry Briscoe who made the request, and it was discussed recently at Vince McMahon's birthday party. And he said, this is what the Godfather said. Jerry Briscoe came to me and basically said, hey, I think Ahmed's going to kill JR. They want to have a meeting. We want you to go into the room, he recalled. They didn't want to do it unless I was in the rooms to stop something from happening. And then he said he agreed to be present and delivered a direct warning to Johnson, who had brought a bag with him in the room. I remember telling Ahmed something like, hey, I'm in here basically because they think you're going to kill him. I'm like, dude, please don't go into that bag. If you go into that bag, I'm going to have to react. And he didn't, Godfather said, adding that he didn't think that Johnson had a weapon in the bag anyway.
I don't know.
Why is that story been buried?
I had heard this story a long time ago. Long time ago, I heard this story. I never thought much of it, but I just heard Ahmed was going to. But I don't think Ahmed Johnson needs a weapon to beat up Jim Ross. Been over pretty quick. He would need a weapon to beat up Godfather. Godfather's a legit badass.
Do you know why he wanted to beat up or kill JR allegedly?
Because so this was after. It wasn't Giant Silva. Who was it that drug Ahmed Johnson to the back by his face? There was a giant up there. I forget which one it was, and he would beat people, and then he would carry them to the back. It wasn't Taker. And Ahmed Johnson refused to do it. And they told him he's doing it, and that's what started the whole thing. And I forget who it was. Yeah. It might have been Giant Gonzalez.
He doesn't like when things happen that he doesn't agree to. I remember the time Goldust kissed him. The time Goldust kissed him, he wasn't happy at all with that.
Oh, he did that as a rib. He did that as a rib.
Well, Ahmed, if you're out there watching, and I know you do subscribe and watch Cheap Heat Productions, get in touch. We have to catch up. It's been too long, and we got to get your side of this story. There seem to be many entertaining tales involving Ahmed. So
my understanding was he didn't want to get carried to the back.
Wow,
that's what started it. But I whether that's true or not, you have to take that from Ahmed and the Giant.
Interesting.
But that was
interesting. We'll have to do some research in that for
maybe
when
it was the Yeti. It was the Yeti. Let's just say it was. For now, we'll say it was the Yeti.
Oh, geez. Okay, you got me stumped. We'll have to look into that.
It wasn't the Yeti. We're going to we'll pin it on the Yeti for right now. Definitely wasn't the
Yeti. It's interesting that our final story this week is again. You remember Alenia Black, Cora Jade? Well, she's flossing now after her overwhelming OnlyFans success. She's uploaded a post revealing that she recently bought her first house, saying that life is good. She bought it in West Palm Beach, Florida, and included a photo, and also said that she purchased a very expensive automobile and isn't looking back from wrestling. So that's more on brand with these OnlyFans people. They're continuing to seemingly rake in the dollars, but there's some controversy because I was reading in conjunction to this story that her OnlyFans is not the full Monty and yet costs $16 a month, while Mandy Rose is about half that price, but she's already been out there long. And then Matt Riddle was saying that he's really bringing in the money because of his unit. So it doesn't look like this is a trend that's going to stop anytime soon, does it?
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Matt Riddle does not look like a very well individual at the moment.
No, he looks like the kind of guy we're gonna hear about dropping dead. He does not look.
Which is that
I don't know him at all. You hear stories and hear crazy things. He might be the nicest, funniest guy in the world, but he's not looking healthy to me. He doesn't look good. I don't know. He's a pothead, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think it's gone. I think it's gone much further than that.
What are you paying a month to watch his OnlyFans, Maurice?
I think it's. Let me check here.
You forgot to cancel.
I don't know. I'm assuming. I'm assuming his girlfriend is a porn star. So is it like a dual OnlyFans, or are they separate? Or we need
Maybe he's having the time of his life. He's trying to be MILF Hunter.
Yeah. Apparently, Riddle also, and who knows, because it's an independent booking. There was some schmoz over a booking
England,
in the UK that was a charity event and then wasn't a charity event, and some back and forth there. I took all that controversy with a grain of salt, because this stuff happens all the time in independent booking land. But I think you're 100% right. He had a wellness policy violation, if memory serves me correctly, for cocaine too. So whatever it is, I hope he gets his act together. He doesn't need to be a statistic. Before we go, though, there wasn't a lot of news on this story, but I wanted to get, especially you, Mr. Ryder, had some thoughts on the whole Psycho Sue Raja Jackson situation from a couple of weeks ago. Still no arrests, but I understand you got some inside information from a source or two about what was going on back there, and it's kind of changed your perspective on it.
All right, so there is more video that they haven't released. A lot more video that would it does not show Raja in a good light. However, the other guy, what was his name? Stu.
Psycho
Stu was drinking. Now this has been said, whether it's confirmed or not, was drinking before the match. And that led to him doing whatever this idiot thing in the back with the beer. This ridiculously childish incident here. So here's my theory. If Stu was drinking before his match, that says to me that he doesn't give a rat's ass about his opponent's safety. So I don't really care about his safety. If he got in the ring and he got hurt and he was drinking, he has to accept responsibility for this as well. 100%.
I agree.
Now, Raja is an asshole? Absolutely. But his defense team is now going to say, well, this guy was drunk and they were supposed to break it up. My guy's not a trained professional wrestler. They said keep throwing punches until he's broken up. He does not throw a fake punch.
Yeah.
Game over.
Do you think
there's no way they're going to say he did this on purpose, except they're going to say, well, the videos here say this and this. But he could just say it was part of the work.
Do you think he needs to go to jail ultimately, though, notwithstanding?
I think the kid needs help. I think he's the way he's talking and acting, clearly he's got an attitude problem. Is he going to go to jail? No, he'll get probation. He's not going to go to jail. So he'll go through this big hoopla. He'll get a year's worth of probation and community service, and he'll have to pay a fine. And then maybe Stu can sue him, but Stu's going to lose as soon as he says he was drinking before he got in the ring. So it will probably go away, or it'll be a misdemeanor charge of get taken down, a simple assault, and that'll be the end of it. It's not an aggravated assault because he didn't use a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all saying manslaughter. It's not manslaughter. It's not murder. It's not attempted murder. It'll be a simple assault. If at best, it'll be a simple assault.
You've had issues with individuals that are how do I say it, in a condition other than normal in the ring, and have personally been a victim of an injury as a result of a follically challenged blue-haired senior citizen now. But is it really a situation where everybody talks about that? You don't be drunk or high in the ring, blah blah blah. But in addition to the follically challenged blue-haired senior citizen, I mean, the Sandman, that was almost part of his gimmick, that he was drunk. And it seems to be that people aren't, even back in the day, so to speak, being blackballed when they're, loaded in the ring. I had a situation on one of my shows where a guy showed up like that, and I just never had him back. But do you think that happens, or do people let it slide depending on who they are?
Well, Jim Kettner wouldn't have let it slide. Dennis Corluzzo wouldn't have let it slide. WWE damn sure wouldn't let it slide. Jeff Jarrett wouldn't let it slide. So the ones that let it slide are the guys that shouldn't be promoting in the first place, generally. The whole goal, you're not out there to hurt each other. If somebody's drunk, that's a problem. I don't care if you had one beer. You're not getting in the ring with me. If you do, you're going to get the living shit kicked out of you. When you and I were at that show in Philly, and they were out back smoking weed a bunch. Remember that?
Oh yeah, and some other stuff upstairs that I won't talk about, and also drinking beer. Yeah,
right. I wouldn't get in the ring with these people.
No,
you're the one who's going to hurt, and they don't care if they don't have any respect for their opponent's safety. They shouldn't be in the ring, and that's why the majority of I can't say all of them, but I will guarantee you that the majority of the people that wrestled on that show are broke.
Keep the smoking and drinking until after the show.
Yeah, go to beer at the show. I don't care what you do after the show.
Mm-hmm.
I care what you do when you're going to pick me up and drop me on my head. Right? Because your balance is off, or your timing's off, or you're just not in the right frame of mind. Steve Austin wasn't getting drunk before the show. He dumped beers all over himself afterwards. He wasn't walking around backstage drinking. It's not done.
Yeah.
It's unprofessional. It's childish.
And I think this incident with that promotion, they really need to further. I know Rikishi was Hall of Famer, is a Hall of Famer, and his kids are active and blah blah blah. But they really need to vet these.
He's never. Rikishi's made no statement on this whatsoever, has he?
I don't think he has vocally. I think he's internally he has. And I think he's taking a lot of heat for telling everybody not to talk to the cops. I'm not sure if that came from him or not. And I love Rikishi. Rikishi, we're very tied and seen him all the time, but I love Rikishi. Love him.
He's probably very embarrassed, I'd imagine.
I feel bad for Rikishi on his show. And it wasn't his fault. But maybe it is his fault. And they were drinking backstage, then it's his fault. Partially his fault.
Whether he knew or whether he didn't, you've got to set some ground rules, and that kind of BS happening, caught on a stream of a bunch of workers sitting in the back drinking beer, that's just a terrible look. So hopefully this ID program, if it lasts, they take a look at who they're signing on first, and not have more embarrassing situations like this, for sure.
Well, I feel bad for the kids that lost their developmentals over it, if they weren't part of it. You look at the trickle down effect that happened because of this. That's why watch who you hang around with. Right? You hang around with 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th. Hang around with 5 potheads, you'll be the 6th. All right.
Anyway, ridiculously bad look for the industry, but no charges or no arrests yet. Probably would bet that they're not coming. Morris, before we sign off, let's talk briefly about the big event happening. We're getting closer. Sunday, October 19th at the Castlecomer Community Hall. We've got the Halloween Bash coming up. Give the fans the lowdown on how that's coming together, tickets, all that good stuff, because you're on the way. Are you not sold out of the physical tickets?
Very, very close now. And now we're going to be kicking into the online campaign, which, as you know, is very important. So sold a few more tickets today, very few left, single digits on my end. And then just the rest of the tickets then will be online. Went up to NLW on Sunday with the kids up in Nace, and that was their final show before they come to Castlecomer. So now champions are established, and we'll be releasing matches now over the next couple of weeks, and be another good show, suitable for all the family.
Now, since you've got a pump on like you showed earlier, are you not going to be able to stop getting into the ring and taking care of business there in some way, shape, or maybe you need to be the special enforcer of the promotion and make sure that all the heels stay in their place? What do you think?
Look, if I'm needed to do anything, I will, but I'd happily just sit in the front row.
Well, you're going to have to keep us posted as to how that goes. It's, fans, again, support independent wrestling. I'm doing a series and a partnership with Finger Lakes Extreme Wrestling. Their first huge show is also closer, September 26, 2025. In Savona, New York, the Mud Creek Bison Ranch. I'm very excited about this show. The main event is a real prodigy that I'm sure, well, actually, he's not a prodigy anymore, but Mr. Ryder, you must know the work of the hybrid Sean Carr. He's facing the Man Beast Rhino, the ECW original,
Still going.
the main event. He's still going. He's still tearing up everything. Very much looking forward to the In the Beginning show tomorrow on this channel. We'll be doing a second in a series countdown to Flex Wrestling In the Beginning with one of the talents on the card. So many great matches and great people running it. HC Loke being one of them, former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion, and another ECW original. Lots of exciting stuff. Fans, wherever you are, support independent wrestling, because you can go and take your family and not need a second mortgage. Independent wrestling is where the wrestling business that we grew up and love still exists. So make sure you check it out in Ireland, in America, and all points in between. Before we go, any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I just seen one final thought. Another man who's been in the industry for a long time, and he seems like an ultra reliable guy. I've seen he's coming to Ireland in October for OTT wrestling, is Carlito. So looking forward to possibly seeing him at some time in October over in Ireland. Hasn't aged a day.
No, he's still in tremendous shape. I had him booked for one of my shows right before he signed with the Federation again. He couldn't make the booking, and they kept him around and paid him very well for 3 years and did nothing with him. So what do you do?
Yeah,
I don't feel too bad for him.
I don't think he feels bad either.
3 years to be.
He made some decent money, didn't he? Mr. Ryder, before we go, I have to ask, how is the training going, getting back in the ring, and when is this epic encounter between the Big Bad Wolf and the Beater of Worlds? When is that going to go down? Are you getting more motivated, getting back into the ring to do the job for Sammy?
This is you have to wait till the night after WrestleMania Raw 2026 to get that answer. That's when that would happen. The Raw after WrestleMania. It's the only time it could happen, is the Raw after WrestleMania, right?
And as the fans of this program know, when the Big Bad Wolf speaks, he doesn't bloviate, he doesn't BS. So make sure you tune into this show every week, because I think it's going to come down. And I know that Mr. Ryder is looking forward to doing the job once again for Here Comes the Zane. Until next week, fans, this has been Ryder's Rasslin Review. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Cheap Heat Productions. Don't forget to hit the notification button, and you won't miss any of our upcoming interviews, recurring programs, or entertainment products. Thanks again.